find all the things here. And we can get also short discussion what is the use of each basically package, or we can tell actually third-party tools. So many things you can find here, and we can search also here. Suppose I want to use some search related to something SQL. So you can find actually all the DLLs related to the SQL also. So we can search here also. So I have already used the entity from 5.0 in my applications. So here I have created two plain classes. One is seminar.cs, another is the speaker.cs. And the most important thing is that this class. See, here I am using the DB context, right? And this is the most important thing using the Podfast. And Podfast was introduced by the entity framework team and the entity framework 4.1 version. So from that angle, they have introduced the, instead of before that, what in the in entity framework we are using the object context, right? Now we are moving from the object context to DB context, and it is exactly the same thing, but there are some like new features they have added here, like filtering or doing add, update, all the things to some just here and there new features, but exactly the same thing. And this is the main player who is playing the important role in the Codebase. So what I am doing is I am just using the Codebase here, DB context here, and I am just editing two lines of sentence here. DB set using that speaker class here, seminar, speaker and seminar. So let me and then in the program sense what I am doing, just I am initializing that context here, marketing, just plain C# I have written. Context.database.initialize, I will cover all the things later. So let me run the code. Any guess actually what will happen? Any guess?
Create a database.
Let me go to the database. See, if I go to my just 1 minute. For your just these things, I am removing everything here. Anyway, I have not referred this connection to anywhere in my applications. I will mark it. Marketing, I have not used anywhere. So, any guess into where it will be created? With very strange things, right? I have not mentioned anything. I have not mentioned connection things and nothing actually. So, how we will get the database and where it will be created?
Update a full time.
So basically, what is the flow here actually? I am coming to that. Whenever we are not mentioning any database connection strings or something, whatever we do, whenever we are using the basically the Visual Studio 2010 SQL Server, if your SQL Server Express is not installed, then automatically it will install for you. And if you are installing the Visual Studio 2012, then LocalDB, now it is another version of SQL Server, it will automatically install in your machine. Okay. When I am running this code, I have not mentioned anything here. So what you will do, it will check whether if in your machine I am running from where? Visual Studio 2010, right? And the most important thing here actually it will this depend upon this default function factory. And based on this default function factory, our Codebase will find actually whether SQL Express is installed in your machine or not. I have mentioned actually what? Here actually that we have mentioned actually SQL connection factory, right? And based on this factory, it will check actually whether SQL Express is installed in your machine or not. If it is installed, then automatically it will create the database in your machine. Okay. And what is the naming? Let's go. So this is my SQL Express, and let me refresh these things. I have found actually there is a new database called first fundamental.mindfair seminar contest. From where it got this naming also. It depends upon actually this one. This is the namespace and this is the class name, right? Whichever the class inherits the DB context, based on that class name, it will create the database in our SQL Express. Suppose, let me do one thing. Connecting the local DB also, because I have already installed the Visual Studio 2012 in my machine. So local DB is already installed. So let us check actually. This is not present, right? Let me delete anything so that I am going to instead of this. I am going to use the now local DB connection, right? Based on this, what I will now do, my code first will actually determine the my local DB in my machine and create the database inside the local DB. Let's run this application again. Great. Let's come to here. It's just the my database. Have you found? Right? And now what? Actually, I don't like this naming convention, right? For first fundamentals.mindfair seminar content. So I have to give my own name in the database. So how to do that? Let's and see this class is very important for us. Okay, we can do everything here. So I am going to here. I am giving a name actually here called mindfair testing. Okay. What will happen actually when I am giving this actually it is a constructor. In the constructor I am passing this. So it will search for a connection strings in the configurations if any connection strings present with this name or not. Mindfair test if you or not. If you not find any connection strings actually there, what will do? It will create a database with the same name. Are you getting the things? It will first search in the app config whether any connection strings present with this name or not. See, in my app config there is no connection strings present with this name. Okay. If not present, then what will do? It will create a database with the same name. Let's run these applications. Basically, when we are dealing with the podcast, most of the times we are finding the issue into connection strings. Let's try to understand this how it is working actually. This is the very important things to understand the connection strings before moving forward. Because other things is very straightforward, and if you go through any book, we can understand. But this, whatever we are now discussing, is very important. How podcast interact with the database, and how we can solve the thing. Because most of the times I found also in the different blogs that people are asking so many questions. If you go to the Stack Overflow, you find so many questions based on the connection issue. I am not finding this issue, how to run the things, how to do the migrations, right? So this is very fundamental things you need to understand actually how it is working. So let's go to the our look. See, I have used actually I have marked the things local DB, right? So I need to search here in my local DB. Let's refresh this again. I have given a name what? Mindfair testing, right? So this is the mindfair testing, right? It's kept. And let's go to the table structure. See, the two tables already prepared. Go to the columns, you can find also. And if mark here, see here it is automatically created a primary key with a seminar ID. As I told actually, for first depends upon the convention, then actually configurations, right? When for first finds any name with this is the class name. It depends on the convention. If you find any name with ID, then it will create that as a primary key. Okay? Or class name plus ID. This is the class name speaker, right? Plus ID. So it will treat as a. Are you getting? Okay. So speaker ID. So if you go to this seminar plus seminar ID. Okay. So it will from this actually itself it can know actually this is the primary key for this table. Okay. And when I am not mentioning anything, it by default it will create the string based on this actually it will create the data type. And it is also nullable because I am not mentioning things. Later we and in this basic session I will not cover all things and how to create the different basically the data types, how to match the different data types or all the things, how to create the different relationship indexes, all the things. We can later actually in next session I will cover actually data annotation and Fluent FA, how we can do the things. So in this session we will go to basically the migration part. We will cover all the migration part. So let's go to the connection part. Very important to understand this. So I have told actually. So let's create a what I'll do. I'm going to create a local name. I am already this I mark this database is already present in my local name, right? And I am giving this name here itself. Okay, my infected name. And testing purpose, what I will do, I will delete this tables to know actually whether it is getting or not, right? And as you know, Podfast automatically will create a migration table. I will tell later actually what is this for the time. So now we have an empty database in migration, right? Manufacturing. And in this context class, what I have done, I have written it in my. As I have told you, if you first search in the config whether this permission string is present, then it will automatically give that permission string. Let's run this. Okay. Let's go back to the our database. Refresh. See. Two doubles are present, right? So automatically it gets that permission string based on that naming permission, right? And there's so many others options also. So here I have written all the things. So if entity definer does not find consistent plus DB, then automatically it will go to local express and these things actually are. That's other options what we can do actually. We can directly write the connection strings here itself in the constructor. So I am going to change this. Okay, now I have mentioned the constant except here also. But I should now tell you, it is not the right way to do. Yeah.
Earlier when you have not used that connection, then one more thing was created, something underscore migration.
Automatically, when you are doing creating the database, automatically.
Right now it's not created.
No, it is created. Right? Whenever we are doing, I will come to that. This is the main important actually that migrations will talk. This is the main important table actually which will handle all the things migrations. Basically, whenever we are creating any database using Podfast, Podfast automatically create a new table called migration tables inside the system tables, and it will actually track all the history of our migrations. So, if you go here, see. Oof. Sorry. This table is special. Okay, let me delete this table. Again, it will for testing purpose. Okay. So now I have mentioned my database actually inside the direct code edition. Okay, let's run this code. Okay, this is done. Let's refresh this again. See, okay. Again, let's delete this for another testing. So generally, what we need to do in our application actually, this is not the right approach. Whatever we have discussed also. Always actually we need to mention our connection sticks in our app config, and you need to use that particular connection sticks, right? So what I will do now. Just add a name here. So, name is equal to. Okay. When you are using the name is equal to something, then it will automatically check actually. It is thinking that Podfast will think that actually we have the connection sticks with name mindfat.js in the app config or web config. If not found anything, then it will throw an exception. So let me do one thing. Let's change the name change to mindfat.js. So there is no connection strings in our application with this name. So let's run this application. Right? No connection in mindfat in the connection. Right? So at this moment, Podfast will search for that particular name in the app config. Okay. So let me change again this thing and run this. Excellent. So done. Right? Let's refresh now. See. Right? So these are very fundamental stuff actually you need to take care actually whenever dealing with the connection sticks. But most of the times, how you can know also there is some actually commands you can run here to know actually what are the, suppose I need to know actually whether my SQL Express is installed in my machine or not, whether my local DB is installed in my machine or not. How can know? Right? For that reason, actually what we can do, we can actually run some command lines so that to know this. So the different way to know this, we can directly write the database.connection.connection in code also to know actually what is the connection things we are using, right? So other way to know actually, running this here. I am using the package manager controller and running this. See, it can tell me what are the SQL services installed in machine. And if you mark this is the install, right? means SQL SSH install be mentioned. If it not installed, then obviously I need to check actually whether it's installed or not. Then I can install also. But apart from that, if you want to use the direct SQL server also, you can use. Okay. And suppose I want to check also whether local DB is present or not. I mean, then we can use this also. Yes, right? State is running. Local DB is available. So these are the some basically tricks we need to implement actually to solve whenever you are facing any connections issue. And another issue is also I have found actually that it is related to the permissions issues. Okay, and just you check actually with your when you are running any database or the things, just you check whether the right permission is present with that particular user or not. Because I am running actually with administrator mode, so everything is running fine. Okay, so you need to check that part also. So these are the very important things we need to take care when you're dealing with the. So so when you should use the code first, right? Now most of the people say in our mind actually we are thinking that when we should use, because already actually we are starting with our career actually database is present, right? We start writing code based on that. We are writing the SQL query to get the data from the tables or the things. Then when entity framework come into picture, then we are using the model first, right? We are using the model, then from the model we are getting the database, right? Then now I am telling the code first. Entity framework people is telling that let's use the code first. So when you should, but we do this. So first question that do you prefer visual designer? Do you like to design the things using the designer? If yes, then next question you need to ask actually, do you have an existing database? Yes, then you should go for the database first. Okay? If not, then we don't have, suppose I like the designer, right? Model designer, and I don't have the existing database. Let's go for the model first. I create my database in the model, using the model, right? After that I will migrate to the database. I will create a physical database from there, right? No, I don't like the, suppose I don't like the visual design. So what I will do? So let's go for the code first. So, but problem is that my client has already given me existing database. How will do the code first? Okay, I started my applications and it is my client has existing code base also, existing database also. So how you start the code first? Because code first I have to mark actually it is coming from the code to database, right? So how will you do? So that for that reason we have a tool, reverse engineering tool. What I can do actually, I can using the tool, I can create all the classes actually based on my database. I run that tool, right? Using that tool, what I do, I will create all my Docker classes, simple classes actually based on the database. And after that, I can start using the code first. Then another question you need to ask after that also, if do you have existing classes? Yes, then go for code first. Otherwise, then again check your agent reference here from there. Get it? So starting point like this. Do you have existing classes? Yes, then go for the code first directly. There is no other options. It is the best options for this. If no, then again you need to check with this types. Sorry. Okay. From this we need to check everything. So using this we can decide actually whether you go for the code first or model first or the database first. Because now we have three options, right? And most of the people are confused with it. Recently we started a new project with one of our clients. Okay. So I like the code first because I am a code actually C# programmer, but Mukesh and Chinmo was working in this project. So they told us, no, we don't like actually code first also, designer also. We will go for the database first. Let's go for the database first. We have all the options. But now actually you have the flexibility to use actually whatever you like, right?
So code first will be like as a template only. Can be like as a side application, not as a application. When code first is used to just carry like as a side application. And the main application will run every time throughout the project, throughout the year. But this code first application will be just even setting the.
Now whenever it will act as a context for you. Actually it will act as a context for you. You can use that repository pattern, all the things.
Every time we are running the application, we need to use it.
Yes, exactly. When you are using the DB framework, repository pattern, what you do? We are using the context, we are doing every database operation, CRUD operation, all the things, right?
So
Here we can use the same plain classes as a repository for your context.
what if we have existing data there? And
I am coming. This is our objective of this session. That migrations. Okay. So now I think we have covered actually how Podfast works and when we should use these things and fundamental knowledge actually what Podfast, right? Let's go.
And so the classes which we are using in the code first, they are basically just like the model classes. What's the difference between this model first approach and code first?
Model first actually, as you know, actually using the model designer, I can go to the model. It is the designer inside designer I can create my actually model, all the things. Entity. In the entity framework terms it is entity. I can create one entity, right? After that I can use that is create database also or copy database also. Okay, right click on that model, it will create a database for you. Okay, at the time you will ask for the connection tree also. What are the connection tree will do? Based on that actually it will create the database inside that server. Okay. Okay.
The model first will be the faster approach.
Model first.
These three options.
See, as I have discussed it, no, both all are three are the faster approach. It depends upon it. Sometimes it depends on the application level also. This is the best actually diagram actually to judge actually whether we should use one. Right. So based on your requirement and actually what you like, whether you want to write the code, whether you want to do the model first or database first. But obviously there is some benefit we can get from the code first also. Okay. So now most of the people are now thinking that we will move to the code first also. But all the options are right. There is no wrong and right. But it depends upon actually, as I have told you actually, it depends upon your what?
They all are having individual products.
Exactly. If already you have the existing database, right? You don't like the model or don't want to write code, then go for the existing database. Okay. And if you like the designer, entity model designer, then go for the model first.
What I prefer is creating the COCO objects, COCO classes like you have created. Instead of initializing the data on the global level, I don't do that. Instead, I write whatever the modification is needed to be on the class, I do the same thing on the database. The reason is like whenever something we need to migrate, like we have added a new column. So in that case, we need to create a data migration for that. I mean, we have to inherit something and we have to create the column there.
Yes.
So what I prefer is like instead of doing on the code side, I do on the means I use code first and the database.
Then obviously then we sync from database to
Yes,
SQL.
yes.
Then at the time what I need to do, we need to again round off that tool, reverse engineering tool.
But instead of doing that, I do manually because sometimes data
But
might
in
be
the
wrong.
migration we can automate the system.
Yes.
That is automated migration system also. That is we can automatically build the application automatically.
But sometimes there is existing data that we don't want to something modified there.
No, that everything is going to feature. Actually, really. So as you mark actually, right? so many people are using the Podfast, but we are facing so many issues here. Right? I will address all the issues here today. We will discuss all the things today. So how we can do whenever that Vikas is telling that actually whenever we are existing data, right? When I am adding a new basically the column, or I want to modify that particular column also might be, but existing data is already present. Then how we handle that things, right? So we will cover all the things. Let's move to that part. So here I have created another applications. These are the console applications, and this is the data layer, data context, and this is the data layer. Okay. So this data context contains only the Azure Mark. Actually, these are plain classes, simple plain classes, right? And this is also let me put the title. Let's discuss these things first. Whenever Podfast creates the database, actually by default it uses different options to create the database. Before Entity Framework 3.4, right? We have three options only. These three options. Create database if not exist. What will happen actually whenever we are creating any database using the Podfast, always it will create actually it will use this option, first option. Create database if not exist. Means if there is no database is present with that same name, then it will create a database for you. Okay. Drop create database if model changes. What is this option? If that as Vikas was discussing today, if I will change anything to my model, I am adding a new column or deleting a new column, then it will automatically drop my existing database and create a new database, which is very bad. It will lose actually all data, right? This is the main concern of all developers now. Whoever using the and as a we are facing also the same issue, right? And third option is drop create database always. And always it will always drop the database for you and create a new database. Right? When which is very bad. Very bad options. Never use this. Right? So now after Entity Framework, actually they are working very hard actually, I think. Every 2 months or 3 months they are releasing a new product. It means new release. Either two options, either they are working hard or they don't have vision actually. Because they don't have vision of 2 months also. Today they are releasing a product and after 2 months they are telling them no, this is actually we are getting a new options. Then we have not released actually before 2 months also. We don't have that much of vision also 2 months also. Not I am not studying the Microsoft. Never prove Okay, most of the time that is happening. So in Entity Framework 3.5, what they are providing, okay, error also. Or totally disable things. It will not do anything for you. Okay. At that time, what do you do? What Vikas is telling. Because you are telling something now. What you are telling that whenever I will do change anything, I will directly do the manual. I will not do anything. This is the last final options. So we cannot get the benefit of Podfast actually. So that is the thing. Entity Framework people actually coming with new options. This comes to picture, migrations. Here migration comes to picture. How we can handle this? So whenever we are changing anything in our database, so we just change the schema, not the whole database. Right? Here our discussion is that what other options we are providing or we are creating the database elements. All three options are what? First is create database if not exist. Drop create database actually if model changes. Drop and create database always. So always we are creating the database. But our objective is actually always whenever you are doing any model changes, we need just schema changes, not the database creation. Right? Our objective is like that. Like we need to change the schema. I don't want to create my database always. I just want to change my schema. So what? This is for migrations. Just I will migrate that things. to my database. Okay. So DB migration support they are providing actually. So now they are coming with full support with the CloudFast feature and new option they are providing to migrate database to latest use. Okay. This is the very important options for us, and most of the times we need to use this actually. Okay. Migrate database to latest version. So let's go to our demo now. So in this layer I have created two Pogo classes simple, okay, and here I have used some data annotations, but I am telling that I don't like that pattern also. ID seminar ID, right? It will automatically create the ID in my database, but I don't like. I want to use the PKID as a primary for my database. So what I do? So I write the key. So using the data annotation I can tell this is the key for my this table. Okay. And I can mention actually here record field so that it will be automatically create not nullable field. Okay. So and it is the I have created a data layer which is responsible for the it content of our context, DB context, and I am using the connection strings called mindfetch seminal SQL connection strings. Let's check whether it is present or not. Mindfetch etc. Let's do one thing. Let's delete that. For the first time, what I do? Here in the console applications, I have done the same thing as I have done before in my applications, right? Let's run this, and I am running actually here using the Visual Studio Access 2012. For the time comment out every code so that later I can use this. Okay, I will create a SQL function factor so that it will create the database and SQL access, right? Let's go to that. Sure, sure. It's fine. Okay, let's go to the database. It's just this. And okay, we are getting database to Mindfetch series, right? Let's play around this. Not this one. Okay, I am going to add a new column here, means new property, right? Let's run this application now. what it's telling. The manufactured citizen condition change in the database was created. So how Podfast knows actually that the database created and now the Podfast is totally different, right? The code present in the Podfast is Podfast and my database is totally now actually there is difference. How Podfast knows this? So whenever Podfast creates any database, as Anuj are talking about these things, it creates a table called migration history. Okay, and based on this, it will right. Podfast will compare right all the things which my latest database, and if found actually anything, then you tell that there is something changed, there is no matching. So at the time, what you need to do? Let's here the migration comes to picture. To first enable the migrations, let's go to the package manager console and enable the migration.
This is separate.
Oh, sorry. Let's close. Okay. See, but it's still this is also so here my default project is the Podfast automatic migrations, right? But my context is present here in data layer. Among other things, my context is present here in the data layer, right? So it cannot find actually that things. So what you need to we can specify here also when you are running the enable migrations. Otherwise, just go to here simply, very simple, and change here. Okay. Now run this. Okay. Now what will happen? Let's go. It will automatically create this folder. Among other things, it was not present before.
Yes.
Have you marked this before? Not. Let's delete this. No idea. Okay. I'm running again this. Okay. See now migration is not present. Anything is not, nothing is present here. Among other things, just simple the context of class is present, right? Manufactured CTC. Right. So let's run this. See, automatically this class is created by this, and which is responsible for doing all migrations. Okay, what it is happening that whenever I am running the enable migrations things, it will create a migration folder. Inside that you will find two classes. One is initial creator.cs and another is configuration.cs. And what it will do actually, if you go to initial creator.cs, actually it is getting two classes, so two methods, off and down. If you go to the code of the off method, it is simple the what? Create table for which all my properties right in that class. Right? How to create the physical title and this of identity, then speakers with these things, primary key, right? And this is the down. So this off method is responsible for when we are moving forward. When we are doing any migrations, this off method will be called for you. Okay? And look, automatically it will go for migrating the basically the migrations from your Podfast to the database. So whenever we are running this command enable migrations, it will run the first time actually since we are running for the first time it will create the initial creator.cs. Okay, automatically create for you. Another important is the configuration.cs. Okay, it will take care actually all the configurations related to your migrations. Okay, I can actually customize my migration using this two class. Okay, basically the using my configuration class and my migration class. Okay. So see, here actually automatic migration element is equal to what? False, right? So now Podfast cannot migrate the database automatically. So let me make it to true. So that I should not bother about how migration work, all the things. I will tell that Podfast you take care of everything for me. So just change these things and run the application. Podfast will take care for you everything. Okay. Let's run this now. See, we have changed actually, right? Added this mail ID, right? And when we are trying to run this application, you are telling that your model has been changed before, right? So now what we have done, we have enabled the migrations, right? It will automatically create the migrations, basically the configuration file, all the things for you. And there is another table inside the database, migration tables. So these two are very important. So let's run this application now. Still it is telling this, right? Why? Why still it is telling that it will, your city is considered in the database is created? Because Podfast will always run the first option. What is the first option? Create database if not exist, right? But already you have a database existed, right? We have already created the database. Podfast already created the database for us. So it cannot be wrong. So what we need to do? We need the last options. What is that? Database dot settlation dot migrate to database, and here what you need to do? You need to provide the that context and data layer dot migration dot configurations. Let's go to the migrations, and by default it is the internal scene, so we cannot refer in other layer. So let's make it a copy to refer in other layer, right? Because when you are working the layered architecture, this is very important thing you need to take care. Because by default it will create the internal scene class, so you need to change it to copy. Otherwise it will give the error only. So now there is no error, right? So how it is things? I am just using that context here and it is the configurations file, right? Data layer dot migration dot configurations, right? Now let's run this. So now this we are using the migrate database list process, right? Done, right? Let's go to refresh this database tables. We have added the column here. Right? We have added new column, right? Okay. So this is very important for us, that migrate database to latest version. It will migrate to our latest version because you have just changed one. We have added one column, so it will not create any new tables. Sorry, it will not create a database for you. It will just add that column in your existing database. Okay. So let's go here.
Let's say I have a column and data in that column.
I am calling to all options one by one. Okay, we play around with this. Property view. Let's again run this. See, I am not doing anything, right? Because I have set the automatic migration should do, right? Podfast should take care for everything. Just I am running the applications and Podfast will create. Let's again refresh this. Okay. So, yeah.
One question, like when we are adding a new column, so are we using the previous data?
No. Just I am giving that. Everybody that's in the same system. I am coming to that one by one. So let's come to that first. Let's come to that point. Let me add actually here. I'm not adding any validation, so just remaining giving. Right? Let's first test Ankit's question. I'm going to add a new property here. So because he doesn't believe that actually, he's thinking that my contract is creating the database and actually he's telling that no, I'm not creating. Let's prove that actually Codefast will not create the database. It just update the new property for you. Means add the new column for you. New property 1. Right? Let's run this. Okay. See, my data is present also. New property is present. Right?
But it will insert empty data.
Because I have not mentioned it. I think we can do everything. We can put the default value. These are the community feature actually data annotation is now Flood API where you can customize everything. Right? Right? Let's do one thing.
And if we want to rename some column,
Then we need to rename the thing. There is options to rename them. So that will rename for you.
okay.
If we rename the
where we
property,
can put that code.
Yeah?
if we rename the property itself,
That. So let's do one thing. Control, and that means I am going to delete this row, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's run this. See. Perfect automatically tell that actually automatic migration was not applied because it would lose data loss. It will result in data loss, right? So what we can do is let's go to the configurations. Automatic migration data loss allowed is equal to true. What I am telling that if there is any data loss, let's delete it. Okay.
Is there any other way to control this?
Yes, I am coming to one. So here I can tell that I don't bother actually if I lose my data loss. Okay. I can tell Codefast that I don't bother. Basically, we need to play around this to know all the things. Okay, done. So let's go to the database again. Oh, I need to write it in my SQL. Is it bad to let's check this. So new property is not present, right?
Should not delete the existing data. There is only the column is present in that data.
If you want to rename the things, right? So let's I'm going to rename this, right? Let's see what is happening here. See? And let's do this.
So we deleted the column and
It will be new column. Okay. So what is happening here? Let's do one thing. So how to know what is going
you
on?
have enabled, if we rename that table,
automatic migration data loss, you have enabled.
Yes, that will make it possible. Okay. So let's do one thing. Let me add some data here. Test 1, test 2. Okay. So what I can do, I can add migration. I can run the add migration. That is command. Okay. So I will tell that actually prof new. I am giving a name also. Let's run this. Mark. Sorry, I will not change anything. Let's change here. And again I am renaming to 2, right? So let's again run that.
It's not safe.
It will automatically build that. We refresh this and go from phase 1. Check this. User needed. See, basically when I run this add migration command, what it will do, it will create a migration class for you, which will take care of it. Off means what? When you are doing any migrations, that will take care of everything. So it will internally run this code. Add column, this one, and drop column. Have you marked the things? Right? But automatically it's doing that. So what I will do, I will not run this. There is a rename column options. Okay. Let's go to the table name. What is the table name? Then new name, previous name was Pronative, right? The new name is what? Sorry. Okay. So see, it will automatically illustrate this class, right? And for first automatically determine that actually you need to run this migration for you. So let's run this migration. Automatically you can do also, here also you can do run these applications. Okay. But here I am doing the manually because these things are not supported by the automatically, by the podcast.
You mean renaming the node?
Yeah. Whenever you need to do customize something, then obviously we can customize everything whatever based on my need. But we need to change this code here and we need to run this command, update database. Okay. And it will run the latest migration for you. So what is the latest migration? From user 6. Right? So let's run this. What is this? Okay. Just do it from here. Finish. Okay. Please fill in here. So let's go to the add some data here. Test 1, test 2, section 4. CLS. Let's update this. Okay, let's go to the database now. Let's check what is happening using for this purpose. It's done. See, data is also verified. So basically, we can customize our portals based on it. But at that time, we should not use the automatic migrations. We should have our progress migration, actually where we can optimize everything. Okay, I will come to that also.
We use that tool only. We didn't run the application to update the database. We run that tool only.
Yes, that command
tool.
Yes, command tool we need. That is called actually Podfast automatically take the product.
But by initializing also we can do the same.
Yes, then we need to every time we need to change the code, but it is not practically feasible to. Every time we need to change the code. Initializing, what it tells us we can customize the things also using the DB migrator class. There is a class DB migrator. Using that class we can do all things. But here actually what we need to do, just you run that add migration command. Okay, Podfast will automatically create the class for you. Then after that you can just customize your things and run that. Okay.
One more question.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure how the up and downs are really working. Like we have two methods in already noticed. One is up, one is down, and you are writing code always in up.
Off. I am adding the code in the off folder.
Off, yeah.
Yes, off is used for other forward moving. Suppose I am changing something in my code first. Okay, I want to update the database. Then at that time actually automatically CordFast will automatically set the first migration basically of class. Okay, and what is the naming convention they are using? If you go to these things, it tracking all the things. Have you marked the things? Means still now we have created 4 migrations, right? And it is a simple actually date time all the things. And based on the things I am giving when I am adding the add migrations, I am giving what the name, and that name is called into the migration name. Okay, means that migrations. And CordFast automatically implement basically the run the immediate. Okay, immediate migration for you. So at the time it will call the off method. Suppose I want to revert back something. I want to roll back something. I have added 5 columns. And just I suddenly thought that no, I don't need to add these columns. So what I can do is instead of running the things, what I can roll back the things. And when you roll back the things, it will call the down method. And if you go to the down method, you see it is telling the drop column. Always drop column is telling. Okay, and we can customize your things also. What we can do is directly we can go to here. We can tell actually target migration. Okay, and I will tell that I want to go of new one. Okay, new one. If you now go to database, see it is listed that I have rolled back with all my changes, and at that time down method will be called. If you go to that things, nothing is present here. So you just roll back to that initial one. Okay. Yeah.
We can also write it in the down method and we can run it.
One question.
If you want to roll back
If
something.
we want to create another migration, then we will write it in the down and we will run it.
If you want to roll back something, then we can target migrations. When you do the target migration, then automatically you will load the down. It will run the down method for you.
Can we do it in this way? We will create another migration, then we will write it in the down. That will
No. Automatically, whenever we are moving forward, off method will come.
So
We are moving backward, then down method will come.
This is
Moving.
now something navigating to the history.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something navigating to the history.
Yeah. Exactly. Here actually, CordFast will automatically do for the all the things. It is tracking all the things here. Okay. So we can roll back everything.
So what's the use of down method?
As long as just suppose you have added 5 columns now in this sets, in this migrations, and later actually you want to just roll back to that position. Today you have changed something in the database. Tomorrow also you are changing something, and after 1 month you want to roll back to the. Suppose I want to roll back in database before 1 month, something like okay. Then what we can do actually, suppose you are telling that say migration name. When you are getting the migration, you can tell the migration name and add migration January. Okay, and next month when you are getting another migration, you tell that you can add migration February, and I want to roll back my database to the January, right? Then at that time, what I can do, I can just do the things. I can use this command.
Is it rollbacking the model?
Yes.
Model also it's rollbacking or no? Properties and properties.
No. No, that is not automatically. You are talking about the migrations automatically. No.
It will only automatically roll back to the database.
Database, exactly. You want to roll back the database, then at that time it will do.
It is difficult to track what we have done.
Yes, obviously today also they are working and might be the relative framework 6.1 is coming. Right? Okay, because there's so many new features they are adding nowadays. So might be still now we cannot create or stop for sure all the things in now directly for us. but I might think immediately I must refer that I introducing this. Okay. So
So in the navigation properties, if we add some navigation properties,
Yeah.
update classes,
Yeah.
then will it be affecting the database? Will it be automatically created from the database?
yes,
Relationship.
yes, we can create using the data relations and all the things, and convention we can create automatically all the things. All relationship we can do. One to one to many, many to many, many to one. All relationship we can do. We can basically here if you go to this, here I can write everything. Write everything is really here. If you write here, it is so many things are present here. Create index, create table, all the things you can do here. If you go to our initial my lesson, if you mark the things, see this is the syntax they have used, right? Means I can customize all my product here also. Okay.
I guess navigation property only goes with 4.5, dotted 4.5 and entity 5.0. So it also works with 4.2.
4.0. No, 4.0 Perfast will not feature. Present there.
No, I'm talking about the dotted framework.
Entity framework.
Dotted framework 4.0 and entity framework 5.0 because I guess the navigation doesn't work there. It works only with the dotted framework 4.5 and
4.5 here, yeah. Exactly. So now we have see right how we are getting the basically adding a new columns and deleting a new columns, renaming the new columns and all the things. So what happened that actually whenever I am suppose let's add a new thing here. Let's run this because I have enabled the automatic migration. Done. Suppose at this moment I want to add something here, default value or something. I can directly default value. And I nullable, I can tell that my default value to something. And also here, after creating this column, I want to add some data there also. So what I can do, I can run a SQL. I can customize anything here. These are the very important things we need to also take care of. Because when we are doing migration, maybe we need to move some data right also.
Yes.
Or we need to some basically just you need to take care of this off and down. We can customize everything here. Apart from my actually whatever the podcasting for providing default, we can customize it. You can write my custom here. Say custom SQL also. I can create stock filter, I can create index, I can create triggers, and I can move data. Whatever things I want to do, I can do everything around here. SQL. I can run SQL directly. Okay. So this is the very important. Let's go to the next step. So what about existing database? Right? If my database is already present, then how we start the process? Let's go for a quick demo for this. I'll start from scratch. Console applications. Let's use low quality diffusions. I'm going to use this. Okay. As I've done actually, we can use the reverse engineering, right? I can create my classes based on my database. So we need to use this actually reverse engineering code first. You can just install in a machine. So that what we can find entity framework, reverse engineering code first. Okay, and it will work only just to use it professional, not express. 10 and 12. No, 12 and 10 express it will not work in express. Okay, we need to professionalize. But anyway, it will work by work, right? Suppose I am getting a new database from my client. So obviously in our I will do the things in our machine where the pro is present. Then we can do the my reverse engineering part first. Then I can share all to the people, right? I can comment to the source code management system that people can study, right? So this is not a problem that this is the reason. So what I'll server usually. Blog. Okay. And you do know actually, all of you I think know actually what is the now. So basically entity framework link, the site link. They have changed now. MSTL. This is the new site. If you go to get started and go to the power tools, okay, and just install this, download and install. Okay, so you can find that. So after that you will find these options here. If you go to the entity framework, reverse engineering code first. Okay, it will create all the things here. So once you create the code first, then set everything is set. After that we can implement everything. But problem is that I will tell you. So here I have still now actually why it is coming? Any guess? Not? No. Yeah, exactly. So let's go to the package manager. Before that, let's run this. It will, I don't know what is the reason. Oh. So there is a problem in Visual Studio. If you do this, then it will like that this is not set. I have other things. This issue. We need to and it will not work now. After that, you will not find this. I cannot find the options. So what is the solution for this? Let's close this one. Save. It will automatically ask for the save. Okay, save the things. Again, read from the video. Have you faced this issue?
Yeah, actually I was saying one of the videos.
Oh, people know this. Might be this the future of Microsoft. So start page. I get time here. Hopefully. So let's go. Now I can find. Okay. Framework install. Done. Okay. Yeah. So let's go through it. If you go to the database, my database, these are the columns present block. These are the columns present from my end, right? And let's go to the here automatically create for it, right? Means whatever we are moving from the code first to database. Here actually we are moving the existing database to code first. So automatically create all your domain classes and context object for you. So here they get stated the context for you also, DB set, some other things. So everything is present here. So logs and mappings means they are using the fluent FA. Okay, Dana using the fluent FA, they are using the mapping actually from database column to first column, property name. So first map, so it's done. But who is the two entities are responsible for the migrations? One is in our first migration configuration class and in database migration history table. But both are not present in our case. So how will the migration? This is the most important things, right? How is the migration here now? Because if you go to your, we don't have any migration, right? Configuration class is not present. If you go to database also, oh, I have already used that for demo purpose, so it was present. But let's deal with this. Okay. Because why it is not present? Because whenever Podfast create the database for you, then automatically create the migration table for you. But either database was present before, so it is not present. So let's enable the migration for this. Sorry. Okay. What is the problem? Same problem. Where are you running this? Oh. Why it is not running?
This connection is not there.
Block context is actually for the connection strings, right? If you go to the up config, connection strings is already present, right? So let's add those. Let's copy pasting these things. This is it.
There is no main method.
Main.
Press control Z, control Z. One second.
Okay. Let's run this now. Okay. Perfect mention allow for project this, right? I just enable the perfect by using for this application. So if you go to the this things, automatically this gets the configuration for you, right? Okay. So now configuration migration is present. What if you go to the database, still we don't have the migration history table. So what you need to do? Let's after migration. Okay, after migration will tell that actually initial. Okay, so what will do? It will get that migration. Let's go to here. It is getting the migration for me, right? Migration class for me, right? And if you go through this, have other things in off, it is getting the all date table, all the things is present for me. But problem is that already those tables are present in database, right? That's this very important things we need to take care when we are coming from the existing database. So off method will create all the things for you based on your database. So but we should not run this code, right? When I do the update, then it will run the off code, right? Off method. But mine already all those methods, all those tables are present in the database, or not, right? So what I need to do? It's delete this all manually. Okay, and I don't want deep down also, but down is not a problem for me because it will not run the down method. Okay, let's again refresh this database for the time, see what is happening. Still not present, right? Migration database for me. So what we can do also, when I am running the add migrations for the first time here from the existing database, it's automatically creating those bunch of code actually for creating the database from the first to the database. But I don't want to run this because already these tables are present with me. So what from entity framework 3.4 entity actually we can use a command line not to produce that code. So let's I am deleting this again. Okay, there is no need to do manually. Okay, initial, there is option ignore changes. This is very important options. Okay, ignore changes. So it will not create the things for you. Oh, I have deleted all. Oh, I have deleted all. Okay. And this, let's go to this. See, it will create it. Nothing is present, right? There is no need to do manual. Some other things, right? So just we can use when you are using the existing database. Always take care of these things. Ignore changes. Okay. Let's update database. And there is an option called purpose. It will tell you what is happening internally, what are those things that are running all the things for you. So that you can check it. Okay. See, when I tell you the startup project. Startup project is used to get the where the consistency is present. Okay. We can add that option also when you are running this update database. And if you go to here, see, it is what is it creating a table right for you. But it was not present for me because it was my existing database, right? I am coming from my existing database to Quadpace. So it was not present. Okay. So now it is creating for you. Let's refresh to done. Right? Now our application is ready to use for first migration. Every options we can use. Okay? So let's go to the another important thing I need to tell you that you need to take care of this part. Let's go to see here when I'm creating the layer architecture, AppConfig is included everywhere, right? Okay, but I am getting the consistencies based on the data layer, but consistencies there is no need of config here. But I can put that directly there in the my console application itself. Okay, here I will get everything. Okay, because here I am referring all the things, right? And see, here we are initializing we discussed the fourth options, migrate database to latest version, right? And we are using the main button, but where it should present actually in our web applications or all the Windows application, all the things. It should be present actually. Either we can set in the global.h, okay, when application start off, we can do this. Other options we can do what actually, always actually if you do this, so tomorrow today you are using these things and tomorrow we have to use another options. So what we can do, and again we need to change the code, right? So what we need to do, we can set up this thing to web configuration. And for that actually there is a pattern also. Let's take care of this pattern. It is actually very difficult to understand, but these patterns we need to follow. Okay, and just copy paste into here so that you can know the patterns. So basically, entity framework, context type, the fully qualified context type where the context is present. Then the assembly name you need to provide. Then this is the options. What is the database initializations you need to use? And this is a very important thing because we cannot do actually always the code from the pod. We should put in the AppConfig or the web config, right? So system.entity migration to latest version. Then this is my options. And fully qualified context type, assembly name, fully qualified configuration type, assembly name, entity framework. Okay, after that it will work. So let's check this. And I have already done this for this. I can here, let me okay, see, here what I am telling. Data layer on Mindfast it is, right? Where data layer is present. If you go to our data layer and Mindfast, right? So this is my context. Then look at assembly name, data layer, then these things, then set button is shown. This is my context and the assembly. This is the configurations. Where the configuration is present. Here, right? Migration plus configurations, right? Then data layer, it will take care of it. So what I will do now, do this and adding a new of 7, okay, add migration 7. What happened?
Angular versus the master.
Oh, thank you. Oh, already some pendings are present. So already some pending migrations are present. So what we need to do if that's present, then we need to first update the database. So let's first update the database. Update database. So add migration run already, that is also done built in. So let's add another one. If you go to here, seven is already added, right? So let's add a new one to test this actually whether it is working or not. But if more it is started working. 8. I am using the fast migration, not the automatic migration now, right? Add migrations 8. Let's update them. Go to the database. It is present, right? Let's me run actually from the automatic thing so that we can check whether it is working or not from the that part. 9. Done. Simple. I have commented the code here, right? But now we are getting this initialization from where? Up config, right? This is the config we are using. Okay. And this pattern will follow. So what we can do, we can write down this pattern actually somewhere like this actually, so that we can just follow the pattern. Okay. Fully context type net, other than all the things like this, we can follow the pattern and we can put it up config or over config. These are the first important things and other important things you need to take care. Because most of the things we have found also, our existing code when client is sending in the code fast, they are actually putting all the code actually in the code base. So it is very difficult to manage. Okay, we have discussed these things. Okay, so another thing is actually that we can know actually what are the different options are present here when you are doing things. How can know? Suppose because it is very difficult to remember all the things, right? What are the different commands are present for and what is the use of such commands. So what we can do is update database. Just put this for every command so we can find all the options. It's spelling mistake. I have to do something. Okay. So we can find all the options here. Okay. What are the different options are present? And if you want to know more also, details help you need, then Entity also providing that also. Just run this. Already run. Sorry. So first. Okay, just run this. It will give you all the details. Parameters, source migration, what is the use of target migration, script, all the things, right? Project name, all the things. So, the different parameters we can provide using the update database. So, we discussed with target migrations. If you want to roll back something, then we can make it target migrations, right? But suppose this script and source migration is very important. Why? When you are developing our applications in the development environment, right? We can directly migrate my database from my Codefast to database, right? So, but if you want to move that changes to my production server, so what do you do? I cannot run from in Visual Studio, or not? But when you are using the providing, you will tell that I am using the Azure, so I can run. Because client is providing that Azure database, so I can run directly that from my Visual Studio itself also. But most of the times, we need to provide the SQL script to the client, right? What are the changes I am doing? So how we can do that? So this script and source migration is very important. Let tell you how we can do it. Let's add a new property. Block fully. What is it?
Prop 9.
The heading color is this one.
Okay. Here, I don't want to run my basically update my database using the migration, but I have to create SQL so that I can give it to my DBA or I can provide to my client. So what I can do, let's go and run this thing. Probably we are running out of time, right? See, it automatically create the script for me, right? So what I can do also, once I create the database from initial, so I can collect all the things from my initial database creation to latest one, and I can send to my client. Okay. So at this moment, what will happen? Automatically it will check actually what is my latest changes in my podcast, right? But I can mention also, suppose I will run this like this.
So we can use the same script to update our OpenDB also.
Exactly. We can use if needed. But if you are using the Visual Studio, what is the need? Just update database, it will automatically update your database. What is the need of right? What is the need of running again going to the database? Suppose and source migration, I will tell that I need to run into prof new. From there I need to run. Let us see what is happening. See, from there itself actually you can get all the scripts. I want to get all the script from here itself. Okay. So I can tell here actually to my Codefast that please get all my things from here. Where is that code?
There.
Okay, source migration prop new. Source migration and prop new is the name of the class we have used. I want to get the source migration to initial database. Okay, total initial when it is created, and target migrations I can put that prop new cell. Okay. Name cell. Prop new cell. Yeah. See, it will get all of these right. Here seminar from my initial database right. It will get the script for the creating the data tables will show all the things. If you go here, you can find all the things, all the stuff.